Hoffman coding, we have 3 steps. I'll just tell you. The 3 steps will be, we are going to update the tree. Second, we are going to encode. And third thing, we are going to decode. Now, before starting up with this complete algorithm, we need to understand some certain terminologies, and we need to understand how we are going to do this particular procedure. So today's session is all about the preliminaries and mathematics that is involved in the adaptive Hoffman coding. Okay, so basically adaptive Hoffman coding is said to be as a dynamic code tree. When we are going to generate the tree for adaptive Hoffman, we will say that it maintains a dynamic code tree. Now, the tree will be updated synchronously on both transmitter side and the receiver side. That means, let's say this is the transmitter side and this is the receiver side. On a network, we have one, the source, and the other one as destination. So transmitter is termed to be as the source and receiver is termed to be as the destination, right? So whatever we are doing at the transmitter sides, everything will be synchronously updated at the receiver end also. So it is not an asynchronous process, but it is a synchronous process. That means all the updation on the tree will be seen or will be updated synchronously from transmitter to the receiver end. Now we have this particular terminology, that is in a tree. We all know if we have a tree, because we need to update the tree in adaptive Hoffman coding, we need to understand how many nodes will be there in a tree. So how many nodes will be there in a tree? I need to calculate this. N means nodes. So we are going to generate this particular, we going to need to calculate this particular number of nodes with the help of this formula. That is the total number of nodes. The total number of nodes is less than equal to 2m minus 1. Right? That means 2m minus 1 is the point where we are going to calculate, where m is what? M is the size of the alphabet. We all know how many number of alphabets we have in English. We have 26 alphabets. So I'll say that m is equal to 26. This is always same. So m will always be 26 and it is said to be as the size of the alphabet. Now the total number of nodes will be 2m minus 1. Now how can I calculate? If I just place this value of m as 26, it will be what? 2 into 26 minus 1. So what it will be? It will be 52 minus 1. And that is equal to what? This is equal to 51. Right? So this is what we have, that the root node, that means the total number of nodes will be 51 in this particular tree. So this is how the root node number is calculated, that is 51. Now, we are going to move further with certain things. That is, now in the case of adaptive Hoffman coding, we were talking about the total number of nodes in the tree. After this, we have to use the algorithm, and in this algorithm, before studying the algorithm, we need to understand certain parameters which are used in algorithm, and we need to understand the concept of these parameters, how we are going to calculate these parameters. So we are working on this right now. So we have seen m is equal to 26. The total number of nodes or the root node will be the number, that is 51. So always when you start up with the tree updation, the root node will always be 51. right? Now, in this particular algorithms, we are going to learn about the parameters, two parameters. One is called as E and the other one is called as the R, such that M is equal to 2 raised to the power E plus R, where we have to remember the condition, that is R is lying between or equal to the lower bound as 0 and the upper bound as 2 raised to the power E. Now, first of all, we all know that M is equal to 26, right? So 26 is equal to 2 raised to the power E plus R. Now, what I'm going to do, I am going to see or calculate the value of E and R one by one, right? One by one, I'm going to see the values E and R, and I'm going to find out that the best solution that I get within this particular condition, the condition is also given, right? I cannot put any value of E and R. The condition is R should be lying between 0 and 1, and obviously it is also equal to 0 and equal to 2 raised to the power E. So here we can see that we have found E is equal to 4 and R is equal to 10. Let's see whether this particular condition is being fulfilled or not, right? So we can start up with this, that is 2 raised to the power E, 26 is equal to 2 raised to the power, E means 2 raised to the power 4, plus R means what? 10. Now you can just see 2 raised to the power, what will you get? 16 plus 10. That is equal to what? That is equal to 26. Okay. So this condition is being satisfied. Plus there is one more condition which needs to be satisfied, and that is what? R. R is what? 10. 10 is lying between 0 and 2 raised to the power E will be 16, right? So 10 is lying between 0 and 16. So this is true for this condition. If I am going to take E as 3 and R as some other number, that is, let's say R as 11, so the condition is not being fulfilled. So this is the final version in which the condition is being fulfilled. Both the conditions are being fulfilled. So that is why the two terms that you have to remember is E is always equal to 4 and R is always equal to 10. And from where it is coming, this condition, this E is equal to 4 and R is equal to 10 is being calculated from here, from this particular formula and from this particular condition, right? Now moving further, next thing is we are having two types of nodes in this particular tree. In adaptive Huffman coding, the tree which is being updated in the starting, there are two types of nodes which are coming. So the two types of codes are, one is NYT code and the other one is called as the fixed code. See, just understand each and everything, and then we are going to jump to the algorithm, because without understanding these terms and terminologies and formulas, it will be difficult to apply the algorithm. So we are going to understand the basic terminologies. Next one is NYT code. NYT code is what? If we have NYT code, the traversing tree will be from root node to that particular NYT node. There can be a condition that we have fixed code. So for fixed code, there are two conditions. What are these two conditions? These two conditions are, first condition is if K is lying between the lower bound 0 and upper bound 2R, then the letter SK is encoded as the binary representation of K minus 1 in E plus 1 bits, where what is K? K is the position of the alphabet in sorted order. Now, let me make you understand this. What it is, I'll just find out what is the, let's say I have the message AA, right? So first symbol that is being encountered is A. Now, A is what? A is the first alphabet in the alphabets sequence. So what is the position of A in alphabet? Position of A in alphabet is 1. So the K for A is what? It is 1. So I'm going to test the condition whether 1 is lying between 0 to 2R. R is what? R is 10. We have seen in the earlier side. That is 0 to 20. If K is lying between 0 to 20. And I have seen what is K? The value of K is 1. So this is true for this condition, right? This is true for this condition. So what will I do? This particular A will be encoded. That means SK, that is A, will be encoded as binary representation of K minus 1. So what is K? The value of K is 1. K minus 1 means? K minus 1 means 0. So SK is encoded as binary representation of 0 in E plus 1 bits. E plus 1 means the value of E is 4 plus 1, 5. So how will I encode this particular SK? That means A will be encoded as binary representation of 0 in 5 bits. So how can I represent 0 in 5 bits binary? That is, I'll say I'll encode 0 as 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So this is what? This is representation of binary 0 in 5 bits. So this is what I am going to encode for A. Now, let's take another example, right? What if there is any particular alphabet, right? Any particular alphabet that is lying, let's say there is Y. Let's say here it is Y. Now the second condition is being true because it is else condition. So else condition is saying what? If, so this is 25, Y value is 25th position in the alphabet. So 25 is not less than 20. So this condition is not satisfied. In this condition, what we need to do? We need to encode Y as binary representation of K minus R minus 1. So what is K minus R minus 1? 25 minus R is what? 10 minus 1. So what it will be? 11 minus 11, and it will be what? 24. Sorry, 14. Right? So I have, and it will be encoded in E bits. E bits means? E bits means? E bits means E is equal to 4. Because we have seen in the earlier slide, what is E? E is equal to 4 and R is equal to 10. So that means 14 is going to be encoded in 4 bits, right? So 14 is going to be encoded in 4 bits. So this is how we are going to encode the symbol. I hope this is clear to you all. Now we have to remember certain other terminologies also in this particular tree. What are those? Let's see. See, this is a tree, kind of tree. 51 is what we have already seen. This is the root node because the tree is of 51 sides. So 51 is the root node, and we have already seen how we have calculated this particular root node, right? Next, we are going to update it. We will see it in the updation procedure in the next session, how we are going to update this particular Huffman, adaptive Huffman coding tree. Now in this, we have certain terminologies. Example, you can see this particular number within the box, within the node. So what is this? This is the weight of a node. This is the weight of a node, and it will tell you the number of occurrence of the symbol or all the symbols in the subtree. That means it will tell you how many times this particular A has, because this is symbol A and the node has the weight 2, and it will tell you how many times this particular symbol A has occurred in the message, right? So this is the weight of a node. Next thing we have NYT. All symbols start from NYT. This particular, when we start the coding, when we start the updation of trees, starts from NYT. NYT is not yet transmitted. So the symbol which is next to be transmitted is called as the not yet transmitted. That means this is not yet transmitted. Next we have this particular 46. This is what? This is the node number. This is a unique ID each of node. Parent ID will be greater than the right ID, and the right ID, child ID, will be greater than left child ID. How? This is the parent. Let's take this particular subtree, right? In this is parent node, this is right child, and this is left child, and this is right child. So this is right child. Example, this is left child, and this is parent node. Now in this, you can see the maximum node number is what? Parent node number is maximum, that is 48. Then the node number of right child will be greater than the left child. So 46 is greater than 45, and the minimum will be of left child, that is 45. You can see in other tree also. This is 51, parent node, right child 50, and left child 49. Similarly here, 50, parent node, right child 48, and left child 47. So this is the way the tree is getting the node numbers. Now, next thing is the circle. The nodes which are in circular form are called as the internal nodes. The nodes which are in circle form are called as the internal nodes. Internal nodes are the nodes which have child, which have leaves, right? While the nodes which are in square box do not have any child, and they are called as external nodes. Okay, so the circle one is called as the internal node, and the square box is called as the external node, right? And as the external nodes create child, it will convert it into an internal node, right? So these are the things which you need to remember in this process. And next thing is that I have already told you this particular adaptive Huffman coding will have 3 processes. First one is the tree updation, then encoding will take place, and then the decoding process is done. So I have told you all procedures or all terminologies, all formulas, all parameters which are going to be used in these 3 processes. So you should be well aware of these things. So that's all for today's session. Thank you very much.